So here we are, um, live, and I'm trying to do something a bit different today. Obviously, this weekend with the launch of Historic Anthology 4, the emphasis has been almost entirely on historic, playing sort of old Magic. And one of the things I like doing every so often is revisiting some of those old decks to see what they were really like. Um, some of these decks I didn't actually get to play in anger because it was during a period when I wasn't really that interested in Magic. I was playing Hearthstone, to be honest, and sort of um, and so I never got to play some of these cards in anger. And an opportunity to revisit this doesn't come along very often. And actually, what makes this feasible and viable today is the historic shakeup. And the historic shakeup is a sort of a curated format where WotC banned some of the more powerful cards, which are very common in the meta decks. So uh, lots of the really powerful cards that we regularly see and encounter in historic, Muxus, etc., have been removed for the week in order to sort of shake up the meta. So there's a bit more space to play these older, inverted commas, slower decks, and that's what I intend to do today. This is all about a slower, more sedate type of Magic. So, in the decks, we have all of the decks that constituted the top 8 of the Amonkhet Pro Tour. That year, it was won by Jerry Thompson, and he played off against Yuya Watanabe, or Tana. I think that's how I spell his name. If I said his name completely wrong, terribly sorry. But Yuya Watanabe. However, what should be quite apparent to everybody is that the meta was split at that time between two types of decks. The first type of deck were the zombie decks, which was that era's or that metagame's version of Mono Red. And then there were the Timor, there were the Timor Marvel Works, Aether Marvel Work decks, which sort of led the fight back. And so what you have is you have 3 zombie decks, you have 4 Timor Marvel decks, and you've got a bit of a weird one in this one here, which is a Golgari kind of Ether kind of deck to experiment with as well. So I think where we will start is with the zombie decks, because the zombie decks all had the same sort of cards missing from them. So if I hop into the championship deck, you've got Jerry Thompson's deck here, and it is, for the most part, all in one piece. It is, for the most part, all in one piece. However, all of these decks were missing the Diagraph Colossus, which was a 4 in these decks. It was a card that basically gave you 1+1 for each zombie you had in play, and any time you played a subsequent zombie, you would get a 2/2 zombie tapped. So it was a very powerful card. So we're gonna have to find a replacement for that. Also, what's missing is a card called Relentless Dead, and what Relentless Dead did is whenever the card died, you could play 1 black mana, 1 swamp, and if you played 1 swamp, it would return it to hand. And if you decided to play X mana in excess of that 1 black swamp, you could also return something which you'd put into the graveyard back into the battlefield. And as you can see by the deck, there isn't anything that costs more than 3. So basically you are able to bring back your Crypt Breakers, you are able to bring back other things. And then the card which is missing, which also is really quite frustrating, because it's the card that stops these zombie decks from actually being a viable thing in historic meta today, is Dark Salvation. And what Dark Salvation did is it was an XX black card which you could pay for zombies, and then once you'd paid for all these zombies, you would then take the total amount of zombies you had on the board, and you would minus 1.1, minus 1/1 from a target creature. So it was like a removal card plus give you some 2/2s. It was an XX black, so sort of each one zombie costs 2 mana. So to cast it for 1 would cost 3. But because you were likely to have a lot of other zombies on the board anyway, it was really quite a powerful card. So these were the cards that we were missing from this deck, and therefore it will be quite good to have a little go at trying to replace these cards. Diagraph Colossus came in as a 3-drop. Relentless Dead came in as a 3-drop sorcery. No, Relentless Dead came in as a 2-drop, like a black, and Dark Salvation came in at I think it was a 3-drop. So this was a very low to the ground deck, if I remember it correctly. It was a very low to the ground deck, and it being so low to the ground meant that everything happened. So the Dark Salvation was 1 mana plus XX, so this was very low to the ground. So you could ostensibly play this without very little mana altogether. Obviously, you've got the Lord of the Accursed, and you've got the Liliana's Mastery. Lord of the Accursed giving all of your zombies a bit of evasion. Liliana's, and both Liliana's Mastery and Lord of the Accursed pumping the zombies that you have, and more importantly, helping you to create. Liliana's Mastery also gives you two 2/2s, but it would be 3/3s because obviously Lord of Accursed itself gives all your zombies +1/+1. In terms of removal, you had Fatal Push, which and in terms of board wipes, you had Grasp of the Darkness, and really these decks were targeting each other. So the matchup that mattered most was the zombie versus zombie deck, because their hope was these were too quick for the Timor Marvel decks, and you would get underneath and you punch them in the face. And the only decks you need to worry about were the Timor your competitors, your other zombie decks. And so what you found that all the builds varied just a little bit depending on sort of what each person valued. Let me turn the music down a bit. Valued in terms of the zombie versus zombie matchup. So if we were to go and look at, for example, Christian's deck, he favoured making the zombies bigger. So he puts in the metallic mimic to make his zombies bigger. However, what he gained in sort of the 1/1 counters he was able to put on all his zombies, he lost it a bit of speed. Jerry Thompson's deck was really low to the ground, just 1s and 2s. But this deck also had, the Diagraph Colossus in it. It just didn't have it as a 4-of. And it had the Dark Salvation. So these are the cards that are missing. This is why this deck is not up to 60 cards. So we're going to have to find a replacement for those. So the cards which are missing are the same cards. These are just cards that haven't come into historic yet. I kind of think that Diagraph Colossus will probably be in the next historic anthology, maybe, to complete the zombie package. The Diagraph Colossus comes from the Innistrad deck collection. So Maybe it comes in Innistrad Remastered, or it comes in the next sort of historic anthology. I don't know. Dark Salvation again was another Innistrad card, so it'll be interesting to see if those cards turn up at some stage. Anyhow, as you can see, I'm missing a few mimics, so we're going to have to sort out the mimics in a bit, because that's a 4 of in this deck. And if you look at the last deck of the zombie decks we have, which is Chris Fennell, he tried to run the black-white package. Black-white package was a bit significantly smaller, significantly slower. So it wasn't actually good at getting underneath the Timor variants, but equally it wasn't very good, and it wasn't very good in the head-to-head matchup, which is why he got beat up eventually. But there are some interesting cards missing from this. The card that is missing from this version of the deck is the, if I can remember rightly, where we are missing the Dark Salvation, which was in all of these decks, the Diagraph Colossus, which again was in all of these decks, but the interesting card is the Anguished Unmaking. And when we're thinking about sort of replacements, we're going to have to think about, is there a 3-mana instant that removes anything? Because you had 2 of those in here. And I expect the reason why he had the remove anything card was to go head to head with the Timor, the Marvel decks, and be able to remove their Marvel if they play it, and dare them to find another one. Also, actually worth mentioning a land which is missing from these black decks, the Westphale Abbey. And basically it was a colorless mana that you tapped to give you 1 colorless, but if you paid 5 and paid 1 life, you could put a 1/1 white and black human cleric creature onto the battlefield. So something to do later in the game. If you had mutually assured destruction to each of your decks, you could bring 1/1 clerics onto the battlefield, and also if you sacrificed 5 of your creatures, you could transform Westphale Abbey. And the transformed Westphale Abbey, I'm trying to remember off the top of the head. So the transformed Westphale Abbey on the other side. This is an Innistrad card. So the transformed Westphale Abbey on the other side would. It's a creature. Unless I'm forgetting, yeah, it is. It's a 9/7. Sacrifice it for 5, get a 9/7 back. Legendary Demon. So well worth it as a finisher. Or if somebody was about to wipe you, if you had 5 zombies on the board and they were about to wipe you, with the board wipe of the time, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Yeah. So if somebody was going to try and wipe you with the it's the Grasp of the Darkness, and -4/4. The 9/7 had evasion, whereas your zombies did not. So that's why that was a little extra tech. But that's not released, and I expect that'll be an Innistrad Remastered or whatever. So we'll have to wait for that too. So I think that's an introduction enough into the zombie decks, and I think we should sort of think about making some substitutions into these decks, because I think then we'll start to sort of work out what these decks should look like in the current format. And I think sort of that's what we're trying to figure out for today. So, so I think. So here's my thoughts. If I were sort of trying to create something that was close enough to this, but not quite there. So for Digraph Colossus, I would put in our Regisaur in there as a 4 of. And the reason why I'd put Rotting Regisaur in there is because our Dread Ward Wanderer gets recursion back onto the battlefield. So we can happily throw this in the bin and bring it back out for 3. And also is very close in cost to the Digraph Colossus, which again was a 3-drop as well. So I think Rotting Regisaur doesn't do what Digraph Colossus does. Not in the slightest. But it's a massive threat that they have to deal with, that sort of is congruent with our deck. So I'd play something like this to replace Digraph Colossus. And I think what we will do is we will put the Regisaur in all of the zombie decks as the Digraph Colossus replacement. So Christian's deck, I think, was missing 4. I think he was missing. So let's have a look. Christian's deck was missing 4 Digraphs, so we're going to put a Regisaur in here. And I think so that's Christian, there's Jerry. In fact, let's favourite this, and then I don't have to go looking for them. These are all the zombie decks. Christian, Jerry, and then Chris Fennell. I think his deck had some Digraphs in it as well. Yep, it had a 4 of. So we're going to put a Regisaur in here. Okay, so to complete Chris's deck, we also need to find a Dark Salvation replacement and an Anguish Unmaking replacement. Now, the interesting thing here, I think, is I actually think, in terms of removal, it's quite easy to figure out what we want. We could either take Dire Tactics, which is cheaper than Anguish Unmaking, but it doesn't remove anything; it only removes creatures. We could take the Spark, which is an instant speed as well, but it only does things which are expensive. Or we could do our favourite removal, which is, if we change to Destroy, we have access to Mortify, which is creatures or enchantments. Sucks because it means we can't remove the artifacts, but this is a different matter. We're not playing the competition meta, so this is good enough. 2 Mortifies. The other card we need to find a replacement for is the Dark Salvation, and that's a bit more difficult because, and this is why we need a card like Dark Salvation to come into Historic shortly. This is the Sorcery Speed Make Zombie card. There isn't one of those. Or a better way of putting it is we have them, but then we have them with some quite severe, but not in the same way. So the cards we have are discard your hand, get some zombies, or but we don't have a cast a sort of. Here it is. This is only for cards that have died, non-tokens that have died as well. So it's just not good enough. So there isn't a let's make some zombies and kill a thing card. It just doesn't exist. So I think we've got a choice. We could either make some zombies or we could kill a thing. We can't make some zombies and kill a thing. It's just that card doesn't exist. And this is our aggro deck, so we can't sort of be looking all the way up into 5 and 6s to find something to come and solve this. It just doesn't do the trick really in terms of making this deck work. So the good news is that we've got some options. We do have some options for things that make a zombie. So we've got Timber of the Dead, which gives us a couple of zombies every some turns, gives us some life, gives us a scry, so it helps us find what we want. Which again costs 3, which is about the same cost as it's cheaper. It's about the same cost as a Dark Salvation as to how much you'd probably want to pay for one zombie or maybe 2 zombies, because you're trying to leverage off actually you've got zombies on the board already. So I don't like searching my deck, my library this way around. So I would say let's have an experiment. Let's play 4 Temerites of the Dead and see how it works. We're going to have zombies on the board anyway, it's a 3-drop. Let's try it. We play Timerite in this, try it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. The lands aren't exactly the same as well. We don't have a Shambling Ven because we don't have the creature lands. We just don't. So this is an approximation of how the lands work. We've got this sorted. Let's move to our other 2 zombie decks, where we have to figure out what works in terms of these decks. I need some wild cards for my Metallic Mimic. So let's get some Amonkhet cards maybe, and see if we can. Yeah. So 15 packs should get me the wild cards I need. Yeah, I think Kaladesh. Yeah, let's see how this works. And let's get some of these as well, just to see if we can make sure we have the wild cards we need to open our deck, open all the cards we need. Yeah, so we've got some there, got some stuff, that's cool. Whoops, didn't want one of those. Actually, we need to do 10, so let's do 10 here. And see if we can got one there, got another one there, got another one there. Okay, cool. So I think that should do for that. Let's go back to our decks. Okay, do we have 3 for that? Yeah, we can craft all these. Let's finish this deck. Cool. Okay, yada yada yada. Excellent. Okay, so what we're looking for Chris's deck is we're looking for a replacement for Diagraph Colossus. We've got that in Register. We need a replacement for Dark Salvation. Okay, so zombie. So we're getting bigger zombies. No. Nope. Okay. I don't know. We could play Amit, but that's a creature, not really a spell. I'm just thinking about a spell that's going to kill some of those things. Really quite tricky. It is really quite tricky finding a replacement for this. Create zombies and kill stuff. It just doesn't exist. And sort of, you know, you want it to be low enough to the ground for it to. I think we're going to put 2 Timorets in here to do the create zombies, and I'm going to take 2 Murderous Riders, and I think that is a good compromise. It's very expensive. Okay, we don't have the Westfield Abbeys, so we're going to put 2 castles in, because I feel like that is a good outcome. So we've got 3 Fatal Pushes, 3 Grasps, 4 Metallics, Relentless Dead replacement. So we need a 2-drop zombie to go in as a 4 of. Okay. Let us try and find a 2-drop zombie that is good times. Let's put Graveyard Marshal in, which always is a good 2-drop zombie when I'm playing zombies. Yes, I think so. So I'm going to put... Doesn't do it what the other Relentless Dead does at all. It's just a very good solid 2-drop zombie. Premium 2-drop zombie. So we can put that in. Christian's deck's now finished. And I'm assuming Jerry Thompson's deck is also lacking a Marshal. So Jerry Thompson, yes, we need a Relentless Dead and a Diagram Colossus. We're rotting in there, so I think we can put in a Marshal in here as well. So as a 4 of. For Dark Salvation, I think we agreed to put in. We split the difference, didn't we? So we split the difference with 2 Murderous Riders, 2 Timorets, and he had a Westvale in here, 2 Westvales, so we could put in 2 castles. Oops. And what are we missing? What are we missing? So 4 Crypt Breaker, 4 Dread Wanderers. Oh, the Metallic Mimics, obviously. There. And there you have it. So, we are ready to give the zombies a spin. Now, should we fail, I think it's worth sort of pointing out what our plan B is, because it's always worth having a plan B. Our plan B, if we need to try and give these zombie decks a bit more reach, is Gem Palm. I think Gem Palm, again, that wasn't available to them then, but this, it's a 4/3 zombie and it's got cycling, and it gives you reach. So I think it's like a no-brainer. So this is probably where we will go if the Timoret and the Murderous Rider doesn't work. We're gonna leave the old school lands in there. Let's go hop into the historic shake-up. So let's start with the zombies. This is the championship deck. This is the Jerry Thompson deck, reworked to reflect the cards that are actually currently in historic. So what we've done, just a reminder, is Relentless Dead isn't there, so we put in our Graveyard Marshal, I think it's called. The Diagraph Colossus isn't there, so Register has gone instead. Dark Salvation isn't there, we've gone with a combination of a removal zombie and a generate zombie. Ugh. So we're going to mulligan this away because we need we need a 1-2-3. This is a deck where, you know, the idea of not having your curve right, it just doesn't work. So what we're going to do, we're going to go Dread Wanderer into Mimic, I think is the way it works. Yeah. So we probably want to get the castle out next and go into Metallic Mimic left next. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is Elf Pool coming. Okay, so we're gonna go into Mimic. And this is Zombie. Okay. And no attacks. Okay. So we're getting Castle. We need something to help us buff our things. If we don't get the thing that needs to buff our things, we're in massive trouble. Do we want to block the token? We could bring this guy back, can't we? So we can trade. He's got no way of bringing this stuff back. So we can trade. Okay, so this is a 2-drop, so Fatal Push can remove it. So I think we do this. And then we can remove that. Okay, and then we hold that thought. So all of our let's see what's going to happen now. Ugh. Not good. Just revealed an elf, he has. Okay, no. Okay, so we're going to play that. Bring this back. Okay. So we want to get our second Lord of the Accursed online, because once we've got the second Lord of the Accursed online, we will then be in a position to... Ugh. Yeah, because then we can trade and carry on playing them. Okay, he knows he has to make elves. Which is fine. Okay, so we can remove this, makes no difference. Okay, so and here we have it. Okay. So we just need to hold out. What's he gonna send? Everything. Cool. So we can get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one. Let's go 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So. Ugh. Okay. So we're going to get rid of that. Excellent. And now we can attack with some things. And I think we should attack with this and this. So. Oof. Him drawing some cards, not good. He's probably going to draw into another elf that's going to cause us a problem. Yeah. Okay, so I think we need to draw a card. Take the pain. Ugh. Yeah, we discard a card. Get a token. second. Okay. Hold that thought. Any more lands, we're getting tokens. Okay, so we need this one to go. We're dead here. We are dead here. Even though I could find a way not to kill everything and just kill the one card. Yeah, three triggers, and that's a wrap. Well done. So against Elf Ball, not so good. We were in desperate need of a board wipe to help us manage his elves. Question is whether there's more tribal in the meta. We'll have to see. Let's play another game. If there is more tribal in the meta, there is a -3/-3 clear the board of creatures rock tribes that we can throw in to refine the density. I mean, the fact is that we don't. Yeah, we can keep this. This is good. Yeah, this is good. We're lacking in a 2-drop, but we got a 1-drop. So it's a fast start, but not a blistering fast start. But we've got some removal, so we can really take away the threat, which is good. So here we go again with elves, but that's fine. We're going to just be patient. And the reason we can be patient is because Rotting Regisaur's coming down, and they don't really have an early game answer for Rotting Regisaur. Okay, another draw. Okay, no worries. Nope, we're happy for that to go. Okay, so our line is Rotting Regisaur. Now they have to find a solution. We're going to discard the land and go into Timurat. They're playing in black, so they could have removal. But if they have removal, to draw us. Yeah, they can't attack with that. Yeah, so actually we'll get rid of the mastery because the opportunity to play it will be very good. So the question for us really is, yep, these things that buff elves have, like, it's not even negotiable, it just has to go. Is he going to chunk block now? Answer no. Cool. So what we're hoping for is we're hoping to go into a land. The marshal can go. Another one. Okay, so we're going to take the 4. Okay, the marshal can go. Okay. We are going to play the Timurat. Okay, we're going to exile something. What are we going to exile? The Liliana's Mastery can go. We get a 2/2. It doesn't stop the 6/6, but then he has to stop the 7/6. We're going to trade. That's fine and dandy. So what we're hoping for is we're hoping for a land so we could play the Liliana's Mastery. Here's another one. That's fine. Okay, so we could trade this. So we're going to exile the Graveyard Marshal, 2/2. We didn't get the land we needed. We're going to hold this, and we're going to hold this open. We're going to hold that because there's no point in sacrificing it here. We need 2 to block. We've got exactly 2 with the Abomination. Ugh. Gets a 10. Ugh. We're getting flooded here. So, 11, 7. We can't really stop this thing, even if we block with everything. Can we? So, we are going to block these 2 so that we can kill this. It means we take 6. But it means we're in a better position to manage.
See your WhatsApp message.
So, we are in massive trouble now, and I don't know how to get out of the trouble that we're in. We're going to choose this as a zombie. No, we're dead. So let's just abandon this game. Okay, so lots of elf ball, which is good because everybody's playing elf ball. So, in order to amend this, to make this sort of relevant today, the Murderous Rider has to come out, the Timurat has to come out, and I think it's -3. Is it not? -3. I am guessing. I forgot what the name of the card is called. Witch's Brew. Is it Witches? No. Witch something. Witch's Vengeance. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Witch's Vengeance. Hopefully to help this work, because it's just of a certain type. So we can specifically just target elves. So let's see if this deck works, just being able to target the elves now. Clearly, when we thought about it, in terms of the Dark Salvation, being able to remove a thing was far more important than being able to give us some more zombies. Okay. Keep this. So what we're hoping is we could go Metallic Relic into Graveyard Marshal. Nope, don't care about this. Okay, capture. So obviously, as you can see, because everybody's going, wrong way around. Everybody's going tribal, which is Vengeance suddenly becomes really good. Graveyard Marshal. So we can. I think we go Graveyard Marshal, Fatal Push. Yeah, we need to sort of prevent him from being able just to kill something and kill my Graveyard Marshal. Of course, if he does that now, it's because he lost it. So,
Markov grows stronger.
okay, Drana. So what are we going to do? We are going to... Drana brings back something with a 1/1 counter on it, which sucks. We don't want him to use these to block though, do we? So we're going to have to Vampire. Okay, so... Okay.
This is not my final demise.
Oof, oof. Choose something to come back. He, do I want to give him the cantrip? I think so. Ugh, we've lost this game. Drana coming out is like a bomb, really. So we're gonna play our Mimic, choose Zombie. We're gonna choose. Okay, and that should prevent him from being able to send everything. Should prevent him from being able to send everything. Okay. Ugh. Yeah. What do we want to give him? I can't give him more. So that sucks. We just need a fatal push. Ugh, didn't get a fatal push. So we played a Mimic. Zombie. And we'll go there. And get Zombie. Tapped. Okay. Nope, can't attack. And the reason we can't attack is because, ugh, look at that. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's GG. It's like it's GG. As soon as he attacks for everything, and then the Drana is just can't deal with Drana. Can't deal with Drana. That sucks. But hey ho. I still think we've got the right mix because everybody's tribal. We've encountered elves twice, vampires once. This is definitely the mix. Okay, so we got Dread Wanderer into. Yeah, this looks good, but we don't really want to get rid of the Grasp of Darkness. Ugh, this looks good, but this looks bad. Well, we're going first, so we're going to be the aggressor, so I guess we can. Getting the double up on the Mimic is too good. So, Dread Wanderer. This time around, I'm going to try not to misplay and play the Mimic into the second Mimic, into the Graveyard Marshal. And then that shouldn't be too much value for it. Mimic, choose Zombie. Now off to the races. Okay. Yeah, artifacts. He's ramping. Okay, so that second mimic. Zombie. Okay. The good news is he doesn't have a board wipe open. Does he have enough to put something on there? Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we could kill this. In fact, I think we shall. We could just choose a giant. Yeah. I think we can kill it now before yeah. And now it's too late for him to go into blast. Oh, he's got the down, so we're going to get Marshall to Crypt Breaker, and we are off to the races. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a big turn. We could do a lot of stuff with a bit of monument on there. Oh. You can't get rid of the mimics, that's the good news. Yeah, so
I battle for the forces of good.
Okay. Okay. We can't do anything about it now. We have to let this ride. Oh, I tell you, for Forsaken Monument. Wow. You're getting a demonstration here as to, yeah, you can have that. As to how ridiculous this deck is.
Consider. The fabric of the multiverse obeys.
Okay. So, nope, no blocks. We had one moment to deal with him, and we lost it. So, I think we want to get rid of this guy. And then we could give all our zombies. Ugh. That's painful. What a painful game. But it's instructive. You know, people get to see how aggressive Historic is versus Amonkhet Standard. You know, even with additions going in, even with sort of slight changes being made to the deck, you know, Amonkhet Standard was just nothing comparatively to this. This is just super aggressive, hyper aggressive, this current format. Anyway, I think you've seen enough of this deck. Let's hop into something else to see if other people's zombies might have a better go. Let's give Chris Fennell's deck a spin. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to remove 2 Timorets, and then we're going to put the Witch's Vengeance in to try and help sort out the... In fact, we're going to take out one more. And in terms of this last one, I think what we want is we want Murderous Rider, because I think we were underestimating the value of removal. Gem Palm Polluter doesn't matter because we're just not getting anywhere near close enough for it to be a factor. We don't have enough zombies on the board, and by the time we would have a board where Gem Palm could be a factor, we're dead, or we're going to turn away from dead. So Chris Fennell goes on. Let's give it a spin. I think we will go for about 5 games before we this one at the end of the day. Okay, so again, this is an aggressive deck, so we're just trying to get on the board first. So we're looking for a 1-drop and about 3 lands. 2 lands is okay, but 3 lands is best. Ugh, no 1-drop. But then we've got Binding Mummy and Wayward Servant. Yeah, so I think we keep this. It doesn't have a 1-drop, which sucks, but we keep it. It means we don't have to shock in that first land. Okay, so it's going to crack the Fabled Passage. Fabled Passage is such a land. I mean, how many decks must Fabled Passage be in? Okay, so we're going to want to shock this in. And then we can play our Wayward Servant. Banking, he's going to have shock, magma spray, something that sprays something at me, at my face. So we've got the 3rd land. I'm going to play this one again. This is instant speed, so we're going to hold it, and we can remove any one of these tokens. We can clear the board. We've also got Lord of the Accursed to help next time around. So he sticks. I think we should get rid of the sticks. I think it's a no-brainer. Let's fail push his board. Is he flooded? He could be flooded. So we're going to play this because we get the 1 life and we get to tap his token. If we play anything else. So I'm going to hold that. And that feels a darn sight better than we were. No need to attack because I want to ride this for more life. I want him to use his removal on it if he's got any in hand. Salundi. So if he doesn't have removal, he does now. So is it like an is it spells type deck? Could be. I haven't yet seen anything to indicate to me how he intends to win this game yet. It was quite clear that the tokens don't quite do it. Okay, he's holding open this instant. So what we want to do actually, we're going to play this untapped. We're going to play this as a creature. I want to get the 1 life, and I want to tap one of his things. And I want to give him a target to use his Fire Prophecy on. Yep. Nope, we can wait. Yep, you have to use it on the Murderous Rider. Otherwise I gain all that life back. Excellent. So now that opens up my Lord of the Accursed. Because I couldn't play my Lord of the Accursed because he would have just Fire Prophesied it. discard one. Okay. The Locust God. So we're gonna have to kill the Locust God. It can't stay. It just simply can't stay. And he can continue cycling until he finds what he's looking for. Is that an endless loop? I think it could be an endless loop. That's fine. I want to see how deep into his deck he's going to go. Okay. We're going to see if he makes 17. Interesting combo. So he's got 10, 11. I don't know if he'll go to full 17. Surely he will go like 13. 13, we'll see. Okay, he's still going. See. Oh, good grief. Triggers. Okay. Who knew? Being able to play something for free, people want to do it. So, if we get our witches, then he's doomed. Like, it's not even, it's a wrap. Let's see what the next card we draw is. Oh my god, they've got haste! They have haste. So there you have it. They had haste. Wow, who knew? There I was thinking, if I get a turn, maybe I draw the card I need. All this while, I was staring death in my face. But hey ho, good combo. Really good combo. I find it really fascinating. This tension that you always have between sort of people who want to play fair magic, or where I play a creature, you play a creature, I play a creature, or I play a spell, you play a spell, I play a spell magic, and those that just want to break one of the fundamental rules of magic. You know, can I play a turn 5 card on turn 3? Can I play a turn 9 card on turn 5? Can I pull something from my deck I'm not supposed to? Can I play something affect something I'm not supposed to? It's a weird thing. And sort of the developers, the R&D, they always sort of find the tightrope between sort of giving us what we want. And not giving us what we want. Yeah. And therefore there are some people that are sort of forever upset. Ugh, now this is quite hard. So if we play... Yeah, so I think we have to discard this, right? So I think we play this, then play that, and we tap this one. Yep. And then we set this guy here, and I think he has to chump block. He doesn't. Okay. So 2 or less. So I can't kill this. So we're just gonna do this. Aura's not good enough. I'm just gonna tap your shit. Yeah, we could give you the red magic card because we're gonna tap you. Aren't we? So we're gonna do that. Let's tap you. Okay, so yeah. Do you have what 1 mana enchantment you can play? Well, I think we knew what the answer to that question was going to be, didn't we? Cool, take that. Warrior. Oh, humans. No? Yeah, we can. Humans. Okay. This is GG, oh, you block. Okay. Good grief. GG? Ooh, get something back. Oh, that's pretty wild, dude. I mean, basically, if I drew any sort of ugh. Deck was too fair. That's why he lost. Fair magic doesn't survive against unfair magic. That's the thing. You know, everybody's playing unfair magic. So these people out here playing fair magic, people are looking at them like, you lot are fools. They're not fools, but people are looking at them like, you lot are fools. Let's have a look at Christian's deck very quickly. Let's have a look inside actually, see if there's anything we want to change. So the Timuret and the Murderous Rider, we now know that this has to be a Witches in order to manage the tribal decks. So let's go back. Christian Calcano. let's hop in. Let us hop in. So, you know, I'm hoping that either in sort of as historically develops, we get Diagraph Colossus, Relentless Dead. These are not overpowerful cards. You know, Relentless Dead is a sort of a 2/2 with recursion. That's not too powerful. It's a mythic as well, which is mad. A mythic rare, which is mad. And then Diagraph Colossus, again, not too powerful. We're going to keep this. I like the mix of individual removal, board wipe, and a 1 and a 2 drop. Insofar as we don't get too many more lands, this is a good setup. So we're going to Dreadwonder. Okay, he's tapped. Going into Marshall. And now we're actually set up to remove his turn to play. If he didn't have one. So, Castle, the Regisaur. He shocks something away. So the question now really is, which is vengeance or no which is vengeance? Dead, gives up. Wow. Maybe. Well. So clearly he realised he was too slow. I mean, I still think mono red is better. There's a part of me that still thinks mono red is better. I think it must be better. Packs. Yeah, I've got the cow diamond there. Okay. Yeah. I think it must be better. Let's play again. So that's 1 zip for Christian's deck. You know, just make zombies a little bit better, especially for those who like playing zombies. I think zombies have a lot of flavour, so there's no reasons why we shouldn't have these zombies in historic. I expect they will say, "Oh, they're coming. Don't worry, coming soon." But you know, like without something like Diagram Colossus and Dark Salvation, it's not even remotely playable as a thing. I mean, we're getting our butt kicked with the most powerful cards removed, the most powerful standard cards removed. So our line we're going to play is we're going Dread Wanderer into Regisaur. He's doing elves, which is fine with us. Then we're going to make him pay. Our only problem is if he's playing Gruul or something else. Oh, he gives us the red carpet, excellent. So we'll go here, zombies. Dinos? I don't know. Gruul. I don't think dinos are broken enough.
Sun in the sky, brine on my skin.
Okay,
Great
so
to fight.
and I think we go face. I think he needs the ramp order. Yeah. Can we get there? That is the million, billion, trillion dollar question. What's he gonna pull? What's he got in his hand? That's terrible. What would be really bad? Flying dragon. Ugh. Ugh. Raise Forerunner. Yeah, no blocks. I think it's Murder She Wrote, dude. I think you have to throw that one back in the sea. No?
Let's get
Gonna
moving.
tap something. Excellent. So we're going to get rid of one of our which is Vengeance. Okay, land. We're going to get rid of the elf. And then it's Murder She Wrote. Okay, 2-zip. Ugh, that was very, very pronto. Yeah. I don't know, there's a part of me that thinks that actually it just sort of puts more pressure on them than... I mean, I had 3, so it would have been a 3-3 on top, that would have been a 4. You know, we would have been able to remove the elf though, but swings and roundabouts. It really is. I'm not convinced that you know, it's hard to make sort of a telling case that Dark Salvation would have been better than at sorcery speed. I don't think so. So we've got a Crypt Breaker into Graveyard Marshal, into Mimic, into Graveyard Marshal, into Lord of Cursed. Really good curve in hand here. Although this is pretty fair, so this is pretty fair. There is nothing sort of broken or cheating about this. So let's see. Ooh. So he vacates the second turn. Zombie. I think as a turn 1 play, this is Crypt Breaker isn't fast enough. Amonkhet gets rid of the Mimic. No need to shower. Okay, so what we're going to do here. I say we skip the turn. I do. I think I've got time. A land, so I could do a Graveyard Marshal and a Lord of Cursed for value. I want to do a 2-play, I don't want to do a 1-play. Well, that sucks. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to send this away now? If we send this away now, we're skipping another turn, aren't we? So I think we should play and pause. So what we want to do is we want to be able to play our Lord of the Accursed and our Rotten Regisaur. Okay, so zombie, vampire. So we got a bit more value just by waiting a little bit. So it was well worth it. It was well worth it. It's quite possible that he may turn up with something that could get some life back. But now I feel a lot more comfortable doing the Lord of Accursed play. Oh, okay. So he could do 1 damage, or he can bring back something. The downside is if he brings back Veto. Yeah. So that's actually, I'm actually happy with that. That's fine with us. So we can play our Accursed, and Do we care about any of those two? No, not really. We want to put the pressure on the face. If he brings back the... we can't really deal with any of these he might bring back, but we do have the power now to give something evasion. So here's another veto. So we know this veto is going to die. Oh, he plays the second one. I'm not sure he's going to get there with 3.